What's going on, guys? Black Scout Survival. I know it's a late night live, and I told a lot of you guys, I asked you if you'd get on because it was so late. You know, we've been busy, have a lot of things going on. So typically we drop videos at 10 a.m. Every Wednesday, and then we drop 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time other days during the week. This week's been kind of unusual because we've been busy. Got a lot of projects going on and things like that. So we have been really working on that front. So doing these lives late, been a long day. It's like 12:30 my time. So thanks for everybody that stayed up late to hang out with us. The video titled "They're Coming for You." And, you know, we've been kind of seeing things going on. Today, AG, the Attorney General, Merrick Garland, unveiled a new plan to combat domestic terrorism in light of the FBI stating that white supremacy was the biggest threat to America. Domestic terrorism. So let me just kind of read just a little bit. So President Joe Biden's administration announced their plans to create ways for Americans to report radicalized friends and family to the government in an effort to fight domestic terrorism. What does that sound like to you guys? Report on your friends and family. Radicalized. What does radicalized mean? What's that by definition? Who's making that definition is a bigger question. Yeah, so basically snitch on political extremists. Anybody could, I mean, depending on who you ask, could be a political extremist. In a conversation with reporters, one senior administration official explained the importance of stopping politically fueled violence before it started. We will work to improve public awareness of federal resources to address concerning of threatening behavior before violence occurs, the official said. The official cited the Department of Homeland Security's "If You See Something, Say Something" campaign used to stop radical Islamic terrorists as a domestic possibility. So they're referencing a resource or guidance that they had, a campaign that they had to stop Islamic extremists before. So this involves in creating contexts in which those who are family members or friends or coworkers know that there are pathways and avenues to raise concerns and seek help for those who they are perceived to be radicalizing and potentially radicalized towards violence, the official said. So it's not just radicalizing towards violence, but those being radicalizing and potentially towards violence. So these are very broad, terms, right? Biden began his presidency with a stark warning in his inauguration speech about the rise in political extremism, white supremacy, domestic terrorism that we must confront and we will defeat, he says. On June 1st, Biden described the threat from white supremacy as the most lethal threat to our homeland today. The Biden administration said it would also work with large tech companies, big tech, social media platforms, on increased information sharing to help combat radicalization. So we've already seen where they're, looking into your DMs, your messages and things like that. Instagram put out that, I think, on their last update or something like that. It had their terms of service agreement. Basically, if you continue using the platform, it says you basically agree to those terms. They could pretty much look into your phone. Any particular tech company often knows its own platform very well, Biden or the official said, but the government sees things actually threats of violence across platforms. They see the relationship between online recruitment. But yet, just like my guy here, thank you for the the super chat, OKC Lynn, they do nothing about BLM or Antifa, but come for patriots, right? And we also seen this with the military, how they did these extremism stand down, and they apparently went against soldiers that were questioning, said, why are we not talking about BLM and Antifa? They burned down half the country leading up to the elections, in the name of George Floyd and uh, whatever the media said that week, was the social injustice. They would burn down cities based off of it. So as we see, um, this is big tech, and that's going to lead me into my theory on why a lot of this is even happening. And a lot of it, I think, boils down to big tech and their financing and things like that. I think the biggest question for us is what defines white supremacy? Because what they are stating and what they keep referencing is the Capitol riot on January 6th, that they labeled an insurrection, that they're labeling it that it was done under the guise of white supremacy, which that was not the case. That was not why these folks did that. They did it as a political riot that happens in many countries across the world. We've seen the same sort of things happening, where this is a common occurrence. Not that I'm saying that it's okay, but sometimes it's justified in what country that you're looking at, that I've seen and been to and see, and seen the tyranny that's happening within this country. People getting food withheld from them and stuff like that. So and then dictatorships killing off their people. So, and that brings us to what's going on, guys. Everybody's chatting. I see. Good. We got some people up. 592, 623. Wow. Everybody hit that like for me real quick. Hit that thumbs up. Help the algorithm. So kind of like discussing this, and I'm going to use a reference to NFAC, the Not Effing Around Coalition. A lot of you guys, I did lots of videos about them in their heyday, and Grandmaster Jay, the leader of that group. Okay. So a lot of people, were asking me, as well as many other social media people, why don't you form some kind of group or something like that? Well, you have to be very careful, because this is the type of thing that happens when you form a group. You're going to get extreme governmental, FBI. You'll have FBI infiltrating every portion of what you're doing. They're in probably every militia across the country. There's FBI informant or undercover operative within the group. So when looking at NFAC, and I said this early on, if you go look through my NFAC playlist, one thing I said is that eventually they were going to go after Grandmaster Jay. I didn't really know how they would, but the thing is that regardless, I'm not talking about his beliefs or what have you, the reason why he's doing what he's doing, but what you can see is that he's a guy who could get a large mass of people together with firearms. Okay. Aaron, thank you. I'll answer that question in a second. He could get a lot of people together with firearms, and he went out to the Kentucky Derby, outnumbered the police and the National Guard there, and things like that. So I knew they would be coming for him, right? Didn't know how, but they came for him because he pointed a rifle at some undercover federal police officers or FBI, Secret Service, these sort of things. And apparently I think he was in court the other day, and in that time they gave a statement that these officers were in plain clothes, like he didn't know that's what they were, and he was only looking through his optic to see who they were. So he pointed at them. Regardless of whatever the case is, I knew they would find some way to get him. And if it wouldn't been for that, it would have been IRS would have hit him. That probably hit him for that too, for some reason. Or what have you. If you look at the Tea Party, if a lot of you guys remember the Tea Party years ago, and if you've seen the video I did on Rules of Radicals, the Tea Party was essentially a group using the Rules of Radicals philosophy to make change in America. All of them guys got hit by our IRS. So they're going to find some way to get to you, okay? If you start forming groups, start getting big, and they're going to find some way to get to you. They're going to find some way to get you, right? And yeah, someone said Grandmaster Jay is a Fed. It's quite possible he could have went off the books. Like they may have been paying him and saying, "Hey, man, this is what we expect from you," and you're going off the hinges. You're going off the books. So yeah, they'll find some way to put their thumb on you. That's why you have to be careful on making any kind of groups. They're going to be all inside of it. It's similar to the Governor Gretchen Whitmire. I think that's how you say her name. And it doesn't really matter. Governor of Michigan. She, had a plot from extremists. Thank you, Richard. Extremists to kidnap her. Right. So how this went down, they arrested all the guys, and so they separate them, interrogate them, and all the guys were like, yeah, man, Ricky is the leader of this. He's the one he's the brainchild. He came up with everything for this, and every one of the guys said, yo, it was Ricky. I'm just using the name Ricky, but yeah, Ricky was the mastermind. He was the leader of our group. Ricky turns out to be an undercover FBI agent. Okay. Ricky, the FBI agent, made the whole plan, got the guys to go do it. Right. And I saw that months ago. I said this on a video. But what I'm saying is that they will find some way to get you, and they may even push you into that situation. Yeah. So 2 of the 4 guys were FBI agents in that group for Governor Whitmire. So thanks, Herd Bull. Thank you, Richard. And thank you, BG58. These are all super chats. Thank you, guys. The one guy about the super chat, he asked what was my favorite AR-15. There's so many good ones, man. Noveske, Daniel Defense. I mean, great stuff. I've got an old Stag Arms that I love. It's been good to me. Now I don't know about the new stuff, but so you got to be careful about the group thing. Another thing is you got to be careful about the group thing in the sense of, I know this one group that a lot of people joined. A guy, in the similar realm that I'm in, made this group, and he's doing this and he's doing that, and he's like, he's going to take the country back. And then all of a sudden, the next thing he's doing is selling T-shirts and making he took all this money in, he's selling T-shirts and making a podcast. So you got to be careful, guys. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. John, thank you. Thank you, Native Warrior. Thank you, Herd Bull. Native Warrior's asking me what my line in the sand is, man. I'm not really going to say that on the interwebs. I guess in line with what we're talking about is like, what is their definition of white supremacists, of political extremists, radical? I mean, is it the guys that are like, during the protesting against the vaxes or the mask or what have you? Are these guys extremists? Or are the guys that are, going to church on Sunday during lockdown extremists? The guys going to the gym, are they extremists? Because that's the way they look at it. Calling people conspiracy theorists when these things came out to be true, kind of like the what we've been seeing about the Wuhan deal, where there's like actually allowing reporting on it now, where you couldn't say anything about it before. And just like certain medications that are now, saying that they actually would have saved a bunch of lives, but the media was pressing it. If you go check out Project Veritas, the young lady, the reporter, actually had some tapes of her being scolded for talking about this specific drug. Thanks, Survival Living, and you're also part of our club. He is, so you can go join that too. Become a grunt, scout, or commando on the YouTube join page. But yeah, she did a report on it, and she was just asking a question to a doctor, and basically they the doctor said, well, this would have saved a bunch of lives and this and that. And so she actually got scolded by her executives because of that, because the guy said it would have worked. So that's what I'm saying. Is that an extremist? Is that doctor an extremist? I mean, so this is what I'm saying. These are very broad generalizations, right? And in saying that the Capitol riot was under the guise of white supremacy, we know that's not a lie. So that's what they're trying to do, is label and box people in basically any kind of political opponents is what it looks like to me. Let's make political opponents box into this group. Oh, he's a racist or he's that, when that's definitely not the case. Early on in last year, I did a lot of videos, and my message, because I saw the breaking of the America. I saw when I did the videos talking about Civil War, and you can go back and watch those if you're new followers or what have you. But I did the videos about Civil War, and I was, hey, welcome to being a grunt, BG588. I talked about unity and stuff like that, that we needed that. And this was at the beginning stages of what we see now. And I saw it coming leading up to this. And I tried to, give a unity message that, we have to unify. And what I mean by that is, like, if you ever played a sport, you've ever been in the military, that, you may not be best buddies with everybody on your team. You may not like everybody on your team. You may not have everything in common with people on your team. However, you put those differences aside. Thanks. Welcome, Herd Bull. But you put those differences aside and you work for the mission or to win the game, right? So that was my message. And I thought, we need to unify. And a lot of guys on the other side of the aisle were, yeah, man, this is great, dude. I didn't know a gun enthusiast or gun YouTuber or what have you will be preaching this message of unity. Well, that message quickly died because, okay, see, Lynn, thank you for becoming a grunt. That message quickly died over time because, I would call out things that were logically wrong. I would be watching the news per se and watch Trump speaking, and then the news report right after would say obvious things that were not what he said. They were making things up from based off what he had just said. I just had watched him say it, and they were changing his words. Right. So when I started calling out these things and the hypocrisy, the hypocrisy of the governors or what have you out partying out at bars, and they're wanting you to stay home, then guys started saying, oh man, I didn't know you were, a Trumper, this and that. First of all, I've never been a Trumper. I don't follow any man like that. I follow Jesus Christ. That is the only person that's it. I guess I can't say person, God. That's the only person I'm following blindly. So, but the fact of the matter is that when I see a man, regardless, get lied on, I've seen it for myself, then I'm going to call it out. You know what I mean? So that's what it is, man. And if I look at the political, the right or the left, and I can't identify with this side. I can't identify, man. I'm not into killing babies. I'm not into, taking hard people that work hard and giving to people that don't want to work hard and these sort of things. I can't do that. You know what I mean? I'm about morals, values, and this and that. And that doesn't mean, we're perfect. We're not perfect people. And we all make mistakes. However, but we should be going towards trying to be better people and trying to help society. So after I seen these things, and then the unity message that they wanted was not unity. It was like, you conform. They wanted conformity, not unity. And that's where I completely went off why I changed. If you guys have watched my old stuff to now, why I changed the things that I said. I was very much preaching a unity message. I brought a lot of people. I felt I lost a ton of subscribers. Gadsden Flag Guardsman, thanks. Welcome to being a grunt. I've lost a ton of subscribers and losing them by the day. I lost 300 today. Because when you become a YouTuber and you get a big following, you get a back page, and basically you can see any kind of analytical changes. I lost like 3,000 or 4,000 this past week, but I feel like, it used to bother me, but I'm like, I don't even care anymore. Those people don't need to follow me anyway. But I think that the other thing that got to me was this, is that, I did some videos and then I would get my hand slapped by YouTube. Just me stating an opinion or something, or logic, and get my hand slapped, get video demonetized, video snatched down. And that pushed me further into seeking what was going on. Why am I being muzzled? Why am I being, shut down? I'm not even like Alex Jones, like this guy just said. I'm not like Alex Jones, I'm just a regular guy, and did survival videos. So if you wondered why, we started out 10 years ago, survival tactical training, making gear, things like that. We started off as a gear company first and selling gear. And that's what I love. I love gear, making gear, selling gear. I didn't even want to do YouTube, to be honest with you. One of my suppliers was like, "Hey man, you should do some videos showing how to use some of the gear." So we started making videos. So we started making videos, and then it kind of went from there. But now, looking at the state of how the world is, I'm a fighter. Like, I don't just back down. Like, so whenever they slap my hand, a lot of people just say, "Oh man, well, I don't want to lose followers. I don't want to lose money." It doesn't even matter to me, because when I get pushed, I want to push back. And so essentially that's where we are. And I hope that the people that are still following me from the left side, at least because I see in the comments, sometimes you talk trash, but you're still at least following, you're still listening. So even though you may not disagree, maybe you're seeing some kind of logic and you're listening, and maybe at least hearing some truth. Because I tell you right now, the news is not. They're cookie cutting what they want you to hear. They're wanting to paint narratives and things like that. There was just a shooting in Georgia today, I think it was. A guy, let me see if I got his name right here. It doesn't say his name. Is it? Okay, I don't have his name, but he's the headline reads, "Black suspect shooting spree, wounded 5, was motivated by race, detective." This gentleman went around basically shooting white males because he said that they'd taken from him, literally just following instructions given to him by the news, the firmware of today, whatever the news is telling you. And I mean, do you blame him? He's being fed that every day, that the white man is out there trying to kill him, and so he's going to go strike first. So that's what I'm saying, that this guy, he's falling for it. He fell for it. People are falling for these things, these lies that the media is carving to separate us. America is about unity. Like, I've never seen race play so much a part of daily life on every TV program and things like that, than I do today. Like, I thought we were supposed to be like working to be together, not separate by groups. Okay, white people over here, black people over here. Okay, Asians over here. Like, it's like trying to separate us, and I don't get it, and I don't get why nobody else sees that. Muted True, thanks for the super chat. No, I don't think that. I don't. He's asking. I don't even know if I want to say that, because they'll probably shut me down for that. But yeah, I don't think so, man. But especially like being, coming from a military background where we're a melting pot in a smaller scale. These sort of things never played into our day-to-day life. Like, it never came up. Like, we just operate as a team, and most of you guys had, like I said, played sports. Like, when I played sports, this was not a thing either. But now it's like this administration is wanting to destroy and tear us apart, and use that as whatever. And if any of you leftists think that an old rich white guy named Joe Biden is here to take care of you, that's probably not true, right? We got a lot of viewers on tonight, 1,200 right now, which is pretty crazy to be so late at night. Let me know if you guys like these late at night ones. I mean, you can watch them anytime after we post it. It'll be on for the next day. It'll be on the next 30 minutes. I think it takes like 20 or 30 minutes to get on their upload or what have you. And so you can watch it pretty much tomorrow or what have you. But if you do like the lives and you don't mind them being this late, we can definitely fit more in probably, because it's just busy. It's a busy day. During the daytime, it's really hard for us to get downtime to do this kind of stuff because the day-to-day business of the gear sales and things like that. And also, like I said before, make sure you're watching the little stories, like the little circle up on the the YouTube page, like at the top of your mobile app. You'll see you'll see our logo. Just tap that, because I'm going to do more stories. These are like little, I don't even know how long they are, 20 seconds, whatever, where I can talk, and I can do tons of them. We'll do lots of workout stuff and diet stuff, because a lot of people's asking about that, Mike Thomas, thank you, man. Mike is part of our group too. I think he's a Grunner Scout. I can't recall. But go join our group. Jeffrey, thank you. We definitely will. Once we get this group kind of bigger, the Grunt Scout or Commando, I plan to do lives with just them guys too, where we can have like smaller talk sessions. Esley09. And like, talking about the group thing, like, I mean, it's always crossed my mind, like starting some kind of national group, but like I said, you got to be very careful about these things. And I've even talked to Jay about it the other day, and that was his main thing, is like, man, you don't want, to be involved in anything. Thanks, Herbal. Involved in anything that somebody else does under the premise of your group, Mark, thank you, sir. So, I've kind of played with that idea, a group, in the sense of, I thought about either having some kind of national organization where we have kind of like chapters. There'll be chapter presidents within the states. And this is just me throwing out there. I'm not nowhere near, getting to where this is a reality yet, because this will probably take lots of financial work. But starting at chapters all across the country, presidents, things like that. And then we could do stuff in like legal advocacy, legal protection for concealed carry holders. They get some kind of defense situation, legal defense situation, where we create the legal defense funds, pro two-way group, so we can funnel money into that, because that's the thing that they're winning at, getting money and funneling into winning their Marxist, leftist, progressive, woke movement. And so we have to combat in that same way with lawyers putting money in those groups, pro Second Amendment stuff. That's one thing about our coffee. We plan to do that too. That our coffee is kind of like separate from our typical business, so we're thinking about taking our, moving some of our stuff into that, just funneling for two-way support. But then talking about like, legal defense funds for people, like for example, Kyle Rittenhouse self-defense situation, or things like that. We could do even so much setting up civil protests for things that we protest and things like that. Possibly even starting groups where we have maybe security officers that are, legally certified within their state. And so when protest happens, we have our legal security guards go there, maybe even off-duty police officers to go. We pay them to go protect said businesses and things like that. So that is just some ideas. I mean, we do training amongst the whole, different training groups amongst the different chapters and things like that, where we get instructors from around certified through our group and stuff like that. Teaching things like this guy saying ammo shortage, like maybe doing our own reloading and these sort of things. So this is just some kind of thought, and obviously this will take a lot of infrastructure to do, but it's definitely a thought of something that's a possibility that I've been playing with it for the past few months, because a lot of people would ask me, and like I said, that one guy, he just went and started a podcast with the money. I actually want to do something that actually helps. I had talked about wanting to run in politics. I just don't feel like politics is my thing. I don't want to, really do that, but I would like to support those politicians. So raising money for those politicians that are going to fight the same way for the same belief systems we do on that level and things like that. All right, guys. Well, I'll check some of your questions real quick. I'm about to wrap this up. Super chats. Thanks so much, guys. You guys have been an awesome night. And Celeste, thank you for that super chat. Thank you, Muted Truth. Linda, welcome to the group. Thank you for joining. Mark, thank you, man. I appreciate you. Yeah. Somebody saying Trump at the border before Kamala. Don't you think that is kind of a odd thing that Kamala she's tasked for this job, and she hadn't even been to the border, but Trump has. Anywhere else in America, like any job you had, and you were told by your superior to go do something and didn't do it, you would be fired. Why is this not ringing to you? Man, my mom says I'm keen. Thank you, man. He said that I am the closest thing to a father he's ever had. Well, thank you, man. Thank you. I'm glad I could be there for you. Yeah, also one thing, because that just made me think of something I hadn't mentioned in a while, but anybody going to Marines, Army, Air Force, stuff like that, you're going into basic training or boot camp or what have you, go to our website. At the bottom, we have our address. You can write me, and I will make every attempt to write you back while you're in training. I've done that for quite a few guys. And will I take the shot? Absolutely not. Never. Yeah, we'll never take the shot, man. I guess that'll be a line in the sand. I won't be doing that. All right, guys. Well, I don't want to drag this out, so I appreciate. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, go comment on the video when it drops, when it posts. Go comment there, because that you're commenting now on the live feed, it doesn't help the algorithm. When you comment on the video is when it helps the algorithm. So just go comment there, talk to me there, give me some good ideas. And I really appreciate everybody that joined up tonight, the group. And we'll definitely, once the group gets larger, we will start doing some stuff there too. All right, guys. Well, thanks for staying up with me. Y'all go get some sleep, and I appreciate it. I just said no, I wouldn't. Somebody just asked if I'd take the experimental. No, I'm not going to. But yeah, go get some sleep, guys. Comment, like, share the video. Go tell your buddies subscribe, because we are not getting any love from the YouTube's algorithms. So anyhow, enjoyed it, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. And if you like these lives, leave me a comment below. Like if this being late is not a problem, we'll do them late. That's when I get some free time. So anyhow, guys, take care. Have a great day, great night. Get some sleep.